change your what is it, your buttons, right? All right, so this is basically where we left out on Friday. We were expecting a flip of the ribbon somewhere around here, a little bit of a bounce. We have a tiny itty bitty bounce in here, continuation to the downwards, to the downside, and we were talking about grabbing that liquidity. Remember, we actually talked, draw this box in here, this rectangle, and I said, well, you know what? I think will be much, much better that we go and grab that liquidity. And then after grabbing that liquidity, make a little range, maybe double bottom, and then off we go, right? So basically bouncing out of that area of where the liquidity was running out, we have the flip of the ribbon early, the crossover of the VWAP in here, and then sweep of the lows, hit the area of liquidity, and off we go. So hopefully you guys have taken that trade. I know you did, man. That it was a fantastic trade. But you took it, what, today in the morning? And I don't remember. It was, what was your entry point? I don't quite remember. It was multiple trades today, right? Was three? I
Yeah,
wasn't the whole show.
3 trades. Yeah, 1 loss,
Yeah.
2 wins, and then I took another trade after.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. So basically, at this point in the 4 hours, we should be already at entry, right? Your stop loss at entry. If you don't have that, do it already. I would be calling out at this point a 50% taking profits. Why? Because we're still bearish. I don't know how much this bull run is gonna, or this bullish movement is gonna get us to, right? I'm hoping to dynamic reactor. I don't see why not. But, well, I do see why not. Because we have a volume area right here, or a resistance that we are basically heading into, right? Something like an order block. Let me just bring it up here. Look at that. We have money flow POC where we're slamming right now. And I mean, the most or the strongest area would be here, and my logic sense or my common sense would tell me, and my experience would tell me, you know what, we're going to be going to the hardest area of resistance. Why? Because usually that is a liquidity hunting scenario. But we also have a little bit of an order blocking here, and we're still bearish. We are still below dynamic reactor, sorry, below the zero line, and yes, below dynamic reactor. So the danger that I'm seeing here, it is having, look at that money flow, looking at a beautiful movement, but making a comeback through that zero line. That will get us to the zero line on the oscillator and also reject from it. So I think that we could be just stuck in here for 2 or 3 candles. Meanwhile, the dynamic reactor makes its move downwards, and then our movement get crushed in here. So that's what I'm seeing as for the bearish scenario. Be careful. Move your stop to entry at least if you're already into this trade. So we should have to enter somewhere between 81,500 and 82,200. For me, I enter somewhere very, very, very close to this line in here, which is the predictive line. So my entry is somewhere around 81,800 ish, 840 something, 40 something. Somewhere around those areas. In fact, I don't think it's 40 something. I don't have my broker. Let me see if I can pull it up after the change, just to give you guys the exact number. Nonetheless, I did call out for a Solana long today. Basically, enter right now. It is a little bit of a dangerous trade. Enter with half of a position. Guys, do not enter blindly here. This is because we don't have it just yet. We could be forming that higher low that we're seeing sorry about that we're seeing on Bitcoin, all right? And we also have dynamic reactor on the way. Another thing that I'm looking at that point is that we're bouncing, or we have an order block being holding us in here. Remember that when I use my volume profile bar magnifier order blocks by Jacob Maccabee, I'm using this tool as a falling knife tool. So not always is a falling knife tool, but also tells me where the big areas of support and big areas of resistance, areas that I at least expect a little movement, right? So if I can expect a little movement here, I might be able to grab it, like maybe going up in here, right? And you see that I have an alert right there. And if that is a rejection, I'm already going to be taking profits, moving my stop to entry, and then waiting for the rejection. If that is a continuation, remember I have my stop loss to entry, and I'm going to be waiting for a continuation somewhere around 164. Then why is it just half of an entry? Because we're coming down past through dynamic reactors. It's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and then off we go. Which this movement could happen within even 2 candles. So if you're not fast enough, you're gonna get trapped in that trade. So what happens if you get trapped? Nothing. That's why we do. Well, you lose your stop loss in the worst case scenario, right? Because that's why we do stop loss. That's why we're entering with half a position, because we're not jumping in with that confidence that we always do, right? So moving cautions right now in the market. You mentioned something in your show, Alex, that you say that I don't quite remember exactly how you mentioned it, but tariff already maybe factored into this dump, right? Or something like that. Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, yeah, it might be priced in already. Buy the rumor,
Yeah,
sell the news, buy the rumor.
yeah, exactly. I do think the same. Although
They're
we have
selling into
new,
it.
yeah, although we have new tariff coming up on May the 1st, the 2nd. Sorry, April the 2nd, right?
April 2nd, yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah. So the point in here, what I want to add to this, more bearish news, right? So pump and dump, maybe. Still, we need to be very, very careful on today's trade, on this week's trade. Another one, it is ADA. ADA, we are not there yet. We are on our first area of looking up into a possible entry. We don't got it just now. We could have maybe grabbed something, but I am aiming at let me just add my alert already at 0.5780 5743. That's gonna be my entry. So we're not there yet on ADA, and we have one BNB. We should have entered on BNB. So BNB, I did not got it. It went right to my line in here. I missed it. I was almost right before the show. I was not looking at it, but it just happened so fast. And I was looking at Ethereum. Fuck Ethereum, by the way. And then, well, it just played out, right? So my entry went in. Still not that much of a confidence. Nothing that I really regret or had a FOMO for first, right? But still, would have been a nice entry right all the way down there. What am I gonna be waiting for here? Maybe a short at this area right here if we bounce up there. But that's what I got on Alcons and Bitcoin. Let me see. What was or can you talk maybe about the trade that you took today and how that played out? What do you see for entering?
Yeah, for sure. 1 second here.
Oh, I can
Let
take
me
over in the
just
meantime.
copy. No, I'm good. I'm good.
There.
I just give me 2 seconds. Just, end of the month, I'm trying to do my finances too while working at the same time. I know it's not good, but you gotta. There's a lot to get done in such little time in this world. You know that. So what are we looking at? I'm looking for short right now. Not in any trades. I want confirmation. Let's just face it. Let's not give you guys FOMO. Let's look at this. So a very volatile day this morning. You get so always remember when trading, there's always a false move, right? So our day really kind of starts off here, and we have this run up here, and all those flag drawing people. I mean, they were right today. They were right. Okay, you got your little flag. You put your I I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. That's why we use good indicators. You have higher lows. Really, you have a sweep of the low in here. Okay, you've swept the lows. You have very, very scammy price action, let's call it, over the weekend. If we're looking at this and where we're at, right? What we can see, and let's just get everything off the table here. So we've come into a key area. Okay, so our key area is this low in here. Okay, so we haven't fully even swept this yet. If we come into this low right here. Okay. Do 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 boop. There it is. Hold shift, okay? And you're drinking this all the way over here. Still haven't swept it yet. Which leads me to believe that we can still sweep, okay? Why? Because typically you want to come and grab liquidity before you send it upwards. Well, what have we done right now? We're trying to change market structure. Okay. So we put on your little market structure thing here. You can see we have bullish market structure. We are mitigating the high right now. You can see that very clearly. And we are trying to push up. Okay. You can see here. Push up and close above. Okay, which is good. Bottoming structure, bullish divergence at a key level, looking to push out and onwards. Look, changing character, my friends. Okay, so what happens once you change the character of our beautiful, beautiful structure here? Well, guess what? It went back. Look, it disappeared right when we were talking about it. You want to see a candle close above here, right? You have high, low, right? Right? There's your changing character. It's coming back, right? So you want to see a candle close above here, and then you're looking for a higher low and a breakout. Okay, so this is what you want to be looking for if you close above here. What also is above us? Well, we have a giant area, a money flow point of control. Okay, order blocks all over the place, looking for us to come up into it and get rejected out of it. Okay, so right now it's a nice move out, bullish divergence at a key level. For me, I'm not convinced. Okay, I need to see if this then that. I want to see strong close above this high here. Then I can look for the retest continuation and onwards and upwards. Now this morning, let's zoom in. Okay, so we understand there's that sweep of the lows in here. We never swept it. Okay, we had this bullish divergence, this impulsive move out, this flag here, this push out, this retest and continuation out. I took 3 trades this morning. I was looking for this continuation trade. I got stopped out this morning. Retested previous highs. It was all here. Okay, this is why I use a stop loss, right? So VWAP right here as well below us. So what did we bounce off this morning? We bounced off a 786. Okay, not an easy trade. Very, very scam wickety. Look at this thing. You push up, you push down, you push up and down, then you push up, only to continue up, you push down, and now you're chopping. Okay, so chopping at resistance is where we're at right now. I'd be looking for a short if we manage to change structure here. Take it back down into the money flow point of control. So the trades I took this morning, I took a long from here, looking for a continuation back up to the highs. Boop. I got stopped out. $300 loss. Okay. Then we take a reclaim of VWAP continuation trade after that. That was right here. And that was a $200 win. Okay. Right there. Boop. Little quickie. All right. Then we took another one right here. Continuation trade. Boop. Getting out. Now I closed this one early. This would have been a $1,000 trade. Now this is important why we reflect, right? I took this trade from here up to here, which was a simple retest of previous highs, continuation long here. Okay, that's what I was looking for into this area in here. So we come back into this area and we continue to push up. It's a trade I take a lot of the time. Now I close this trade out pretty quickly for another $300 win. And obviously we ran to the moon and I would have made a lot more money, but that is why we do reflection, right? You can pull even a trend line from here to this low here, right? And you can see that we've held that all the way up. I didn't have to close that until we broke here. Okay, and as you can see, we're trying to break out right now, but 3 trades. That's why we use good risk management. And I have since taken another, I took a short up in here as well. Where's my areas here? Oh, so I did take a short from here down, boop, for another $200. Okay, now I'm just waiting. I'm looking for some sort of drives up top here. So what I would like is, obviously we're getting a little bit overextended here. So what I typically look for, and what you can look for too, is you look for 3 drives up at the top here into resistance. So you're waiting till you get a push, a rejection, a lower low, and then you're looking for this kind of trade back down into the middle of the range. Very simple trade. Very easy, very profitable, because what are we doing most of the time? We are range bound. When we are range bound, we want to be able to say, hey man, where's the top of the range? Where's the bottom of the range? A good tool for this is our predictive ranges tool we have in here. As you can see here, let's go into a 15-minute time frame. This will give us a better idea of where we're at and where we're looking to go, right? So 4-hour bullish divergence in here, looking juicy, pushing up. Guess where we're at right now? Premium discount. Here's our range. Okay, so if we're going to trade back into the range and get acceptance back, we're looking to go back into the equilibrium, right? So you can take a short from up top here all the way back down into here, especially when you have price action that is up only. Okay, because this is just liquidity, it's creating liquidity, but you're not just taking the short here. You're waiting for the market to tell you, hey man, turn on your market structure. When it crosses, right? When it tells you, hey, we're going down, then you can look to manage your risk, take a short, take the trade back into the area, right? Look at here. So it says, hey, man, we're going up, right? So what are you looking for? You're looking for a higher low and a continuation out, which was our 786 this morning. It got me. It may have not gotten you. Okay, so you can see here, beautiful 786 bounce level. There's your trade setup, long. Stop loss below the low, target to the top of the range. Very easy range trading, okay? You want to buy low, sell high, or sell high, buy it back low, okay? So remember the buns. Big bun, big bun. You don't want to get slapped with the hot dog, right? So always trying to isolate price in an area where you could take highly profitable trades and where you have a good risk to reward multiple. That's the key, is that I can manage my risk underneath the low. Okay, I can manage my short beneath the high, and I can look to take this back down into the median, the average price, the VWAP, okay, whatever you're looking, the average price of the day, right? So I'm going to look to take overextended price down into the average price, overextended price back into the average price. And I make a lot of money just by knowing how to trade a range, understanding when the range is reversing. Okay, when we get a higher low like this, right? We can take that back down, right? Sometimes it fakes you out. That's why you got to use risk management, right? If you shorted here, you're in the money. If you longed here, you're in the money, okay? So just using good risk management and using those tools is going to help you a lot. The only concern right now, if we're looking at this objectively, and you have all these levels if you want them on my chart, I can get rid of all this in here. And we can see here, let me give you guys my trend lines. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Here you go. Share it in the chat. Okay. These are all my charts that I use on a daily basis so you guys can have them too. So it looks like we do have continuation here. I do not want to get in the way of a train. I want to wait for the train to stop at the station and tell me where it's going to go next. Okay. So the train is leaving. Is the train going to stop and tell me where it's going to go next so I can take the train back down to ground level, or am I going to take the train back to Valhalla, depending on price action, right? And that's typically how you want to manage your position. Now, the concern is that we have dumped, and this is pricing in the tariffs. The tariffs are going to give us certainty because it's uncertain right now. Everybody's like, where the hell is this thing going? What is Donald doing? But when we get clarity, which is something we will get on Wednesday, on his doom day or whatever he's calling it. So if we get clarity, will the market feel more comfortable buying? That's my idea, is that if we can get some clarity today, or I mean Wednesday, then we can definitely look for price to possibly rebound, okay? Not saying we're out of the woods yet. If we zoom out and we look at our macro and we understand that, hey man, where the hell are we, right? We're in a downtrend, very simply. We are finding support above here, continuation up. We have put in a higher low, okay, on a macro, right? So we have put in a higher low. We have yet to put in a higher high, okay? Remember what I said last week. The hopium is this, okay? The hopium is that we are going to put in a high, which is here now. Okay, this is what I said. We wanted to come for this high, but it was a long stretch, right? This is like a big I mean, come on. This is a big move. 20% move back up. Okay, we moved 15% back up. Pretty friggin' awesome. Okay, pretty friggin' awesome for a bounce. Okay, now the thing that's significant here is that now we have a shorter opportunity that if we are going to push, we only have to put in a higher high above here to flip bullish, in my opinion. Okay, that is the hopium. We do not need to do a candle close now above this thing to flip bullish on a more of a macro scale, right? We only need to get above there. Initially, everybody's aiming 90 to 92,000. They want to see a mitigation of this high here to flip bullish. Well, we have a closer one now. Okay, so now we can look for this on a higher term time frame to flip bullish, which is the hope. Right? Maybe we get a ABC. That's another option, that we get ABC, and then we can push out of there and get above here, and then we go for some relief. Okay. Obviously, the big resistance, 92,000. We know that. It's clear as friggin' day. Where is going to be the hardest point to get above? Breakdown, retest, rejection down. Okay? So, if the bulls are going to do anything, if they're going to fight back, we are either going to get one of these 3 drives, or we're going to have an ABC correction and get above this high here. Okay? So many options, but the thing is that we remain kind of neutral, but understand that we are on a higher term time frame. We are below the dynamic reactor. All these things come into factors, okay? But you can see on the 4-hour, we're range bound. If we're looking at our dynamic reactor on a 4-hour, we flipped green, okay? So if anything, this is telling me that this is our new range right now. Sideways is the most pain because uncertainty. And we could remain within this range until we have some sort of accumulation in here, and then we go up. Or Donald Trump goes to war with Canada or something, and we go down. But we treat it as a range, right? And by treating it as a range, we could buy low and sell high throughout this and make lots of money, okay? That's the thing. We don't want to... I think the key is making sure you're separating your trading from your portfolio. We all want it to go to the friggin' moon. That's everybody understands that. But right now, sideways is okay because everybody's bearish. Okay, especially Piper. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So looking for a close above the high here to give me some structure change. Can we get a 4-hour close? We still got 30 minutes on this candle right here. So we want to see this candle close above. Maybe a 1-hour candle would be ideal. Let's look. Yeah, so we want this 1-hour candle to close above the highs here. Half an hour left on this candle. Do we get a 30-minute break of structure? Let's see. That's why it's so important to understand what this does over on the side here. That's your candle countdown. Look at that. We have a bullish close and a change in structure on the 30-minute, okay? Because we've closed above this high here. So now we can, on our 30-minute time frame, we can favor longs. When we come down into here, if we have any sort of retracement, we can favor some sort of long back up to any sort of area that's of interest to us on the way up. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a very volatile week. At the end of the day, your job is to manage your risk and take high probability trades. That's it. Right now, overextended in my opinion. We'll see if we come back down come back up for some air. What do you think about that, Mr. OC man?
I think that we're gonna be in for a ride this week, especially this week, end of the month. New tariff being announced. I mean, everything is just kind of like either out of place or falling into order. What do I mean with that? Out of place because we have been shaken, right? I mean, and I'm not mean just crypto. I mean everywhere, right? And then falling into order because it's not like tariffs are gonna just disappear, right? I mean, if you already have, if Donald Trump has already signed executive order, well then it just means that Lego pieces are gonna start rearranging, right? So everything is on the air, and we'll see those big blocks being just crashing to the ground and start making any information. So be careful out there. I want to bring up something that Credit for myself said, hey everyone, happy Monday. 281 scalp in 3 minutes. Congratulations. That's awesome. I really love it. JR, what is up, buddy? Yeah. JR, what's up, brother? Welcome, welcome. I'm missing some alpha. Hey, Alex, you have a question here. I passed the charts, brother, in the PNL. Sorry, I was multitasking. So I think it was just a comment. So thanks, OC. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome, my friend. Always welcome to the classes. Please let us know. Also, we have Crypto Pollo. We see in the chat. What's up, brother? One way. We also have Spastic Spartan. What is up, my friend? Long time no see. Daga DB Cooper. Created for my soul. Buck. What is up, my friend? And I think for Vera. Oh, Lucky Deal. What's up, man? I don't get used to your new picture. Love it, but I need to get used to that one. And Mr. Sci-Fi. Perfect. All right. Any analysis for XAU until you accelerate? Well, remember, this is a class rise for them. So yeah, we can take a look at XAU. Let's do that right away. All right. So let me just bring it up.
That's how
I got it right here.
Up.
What?
Gold up.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just been killing it. Let me just clear this up here so we can start fresh. All right, I have 2 of gold here. We're talking about. Hey, by the way,
portfolio is doing better than OC's portfolio.
It is, man. It is by far, man. Nice. All right, so I know it's a little messy here. Let me just clear this up a little bit for you. We were looking at a flag. We have a flag breakout. It is in the process of making its highs. We have another flag in here with a breakout. And of course, we have a secondary analysis. So let's just get it right here. So basically, we have a topping here. We're looking for a possible rejection, right? Something about it is that look at our money flow. It's just not going down. All right, so what's happening between those two? They're canceling each other. So what's going to be better? Well, then remember that we have something that is called the zero line. As long as we're above the zero line, look at that, for example, right here, most of the action is above the zero line. What's happening? We have an upwards movement. Yeah, of course, with upwards, downward, upward, downwards, upward, downward, upwards, downward interference pattern there in the wave pattern, but still overall movement to the upside, right? In fact, this is very dramatic movement to the upside. So the same thing is happening here. Despite we're looking for maybe a retracement, we could be looking for a retracement re-entry. So far, I do see a trend line being formed in here. I still think that we are pretty far away from it. So I would say that we could be having either a bull flag in here, right, to shorten the price action here, maybe sweep of the lows, and then off we go. That is because look at our money flow here, still pushing green. Our true 7 is still pushing green. And on our oscillator, we're still above the zero line. And right up here, we don't have just yet those tiny candles. Seems like we might be forming some, but we want to see that change of candle, right? And maybe one more for consolidation. So we're going to be waiting for something like that. The same thing that happened here. So far, looking for a retracement for a continuation up. If you're looking for something like a 15 minutes, we do have the range. We have a formation there. Let me just clear this up. And let's get started adding our indicators. So let's wait for the first one to load, which is the first set of indicators. Come on, there we go. We have our dynamic reactor. Our first reentry was right here. We are having a range, and we're going to be trading it as a range. Hedging the range might be a good idea because remember, the range breakouts are 50-50 or unknown. So what else do I have here? I have my quantum reactor coming in strong. So any retracements within that area will be good for a re-entry. Where's my support and resistances? Well, since we keep just pushing outwards, there's no resistances there to be taken because there is no past price action. We only have support. So what happens with that support? We need to wait for that support to be taken, and then if we are still above the zero line or having, let me just zoom in here, or having a flip of the ribbon like we had here at support, that is our next possible entry. So let's see what else do we have in here. No supports, patterns, rising channel, nothing really that plays out with myself there. All right, perfect. I think I see something here. So what is this? This is my VPVR. This one in here is just classical volume, just like any other VPVR. This one in here, this is the disparity. So from all of this volume, we have a bearish disparity of 28.15K. All right. So what is this telling me? This is telling me that we're not aiming at the same point. We're aiming differently. When there is low disparity, basically that is a smart money entry. This is not for sure, but usually smart money enters and directs its capitals all at once, right? At the same direction. So they move markets. So look at that low disparity, big areas of reaction. That is an area of smart money. What do we need to see here? Well, contrary to the small disparity and big reactions, big disparity and no reaction, which is ranging, basically we are stuck within the same price range, well then that is usually indicates retail fighting for this price. What happens with retail? Retail gets exhausted. What happens when retail get exhausted? That is opportunity for smart money to push in here. So that's exactly what we're going to be waiting for. An exhaustion of money. We want to see money flow going back down here and then holding this support. If we cannot hold that support, we're going to be looking for our next area of entry, which is dynamic reactor and quantum reactor, somewhere where we also have our smart money entry areas. So back at 3,098. Other than that, man, I don't know when gold is going to stop going up. But this is talking about a crumbling economy worldwide. So fear in the markets. Be careful out there, because remember also, what's this guy called? Ah, man, it went out of my head. Warren Buffett is on the most cash that he is paying for a long, long time. So what does that mean? He's saving that cash for a profitable zone. It's gonna be a thing, lol. It's so much easier to read on his computer screen, even though it seems my cell phone. Man, your cell phone, I don't know what does it have. It has a buy and sell machine, brother. You're doing an amazing job. Nice. OC Daggett says, when will you upload Last Plus class from Friday? With the layering setup you showed, did I not uploaded it? Let me check it out and I'll upload it today, my friend. So sorry about that. So that's what I got. Alex, would you like to take a look at anything else, or would you like to wrap the class up and prepare for the next show?
I think I can take. I was looking at one other thing that does look actually quite juicy. Is Sui. Nice push up here from Sui or Sui or whatever the hell we want to call it. Just getting above here, so above VWAP, above all these things here. I would look for a retest right now on Sui. Back into this general area. And your money flow. There's a bunch of things that are pointing here. 227, and it has moved quite nicely recently. So maybe a possible swing trade here on Sui. Back up to the highs here. A lot of liquidity created on this downtrend, as you can see here. So something I'm definitely interested in as price does materialize. So we'll see if we do get the bounce. I think Bitcoin's a little bit overextended, so that's something that I'm keeping on my radar right now. But I'm looking for a potential swing long on Sui if it does want to hold here. Remember, we want to see price come back into this general area and hold. That's going to be critical for some sort of bounce within here. So coming back in, holding, and then pushing back up. But I think, if we're going to get a bounce, this is kind of what I would be looking for, especially with something like this. You're going to get quite a nice move back up into the highs here. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, watch USDT dominance here for a potential break. Okay, so what we've had is a very aggressive uptrend right here. You can see I have an alarm set on this trend line. We came back down. This would have, if you had bought, or if you had sold on this level here, March 25th. Okay, we go over here. Let's go to the bottom here. March 25th at 8 a.m. Okay, and you go over to Bitcoin. I'm just going to go and mark it out. Won't even have to look here. Go 4 hour. March 25th at 8 a.m. If you had pressed sell here, I think you'd be very happy. Okay? Okay? Very nice. Basically calling the top. Okay, so if you can use your USDT here, USDT dominance, and you can overlay it here. Okay? And you can see that once we pushed up out of that bottoming structure, it was no looking back, right? So nice confluence, something to always watch here. So we have this trend line coming up here, right? If we are to break down below it and retest, that would be beautiful, right? That would be very bullish, right? So with this, if you do struggle with seeing it upside down, go in here, hit Alt I. Okay, and look at this. It trades almost in parallel with this thing, okay? It's almost scary how close it is. So if you could do TA on USDT dominance, another one that trades very similarly is your Nasdaq, okay? A little bit more volatile, but very similar, okay? Very, very similar. So there's things that you can use to give yourself bias on other tokens. You can see the Nasdaq, it trades very similarly in here as well. We get that off very similarly, okay? It's like leveraged Bitcoin. So use these things to your advantage. But USDT dominance, Alt I, right? Obviously, it's inverse correlated, so it's going to be hard to. You got to trade it the opposite, but big trend line here, looking to break down. Can we top out here and put in a lower high? Would be ideal, right? So if we can do something like this, that would be great. But for now, watch that. See if we top here, break down, and then watch, obviously, Mr. Daddy Bitcoin over here and watch how he behaves. Because right now we are pushing up. We are trying to put in a high, but this, this bottoming structure, I would expect something of the lines of this if we're going to go here. Okay. Other than that, I'm looking mostly. We do have a golden pocket bounce here. So this is a good bounce area. Okay. But we can sweep the 786. Okay. Which has been respected quite a lot, which is at 79,000. But right now, let's see if these lows hold. As you can see, we didn't sweep the low this morning, which is concerning. Okay, this is concerning. If we had swept the low and bounced back up, okay, but we haven't. We've left some liquidity down at these lows, and there's clearly liquidity at these lows as well. So for now, let's be level-headed. I think the best idea is to trade a plan, be prepared. We'll see if we get that bounce in continuation. But it's going to be a very volatile week. So make sure you guys are using good risk management, paying yourselves early, and all those good things, okay? And that's enough out of me today.
Absolutely. So, guys, thank you so much for joining on today. Today is Monday. Let's collect today, guys. Also, remember, I'm not telling you to buy, I'm not telling you to sell. Just let's go in with attitude, right? Let's take a look at where our entries, where our exits in today or this week could be the beginning of a beautiful week. Just make it happen, guys. Other than that, thank you so much for joining. Alex, thank you so much, as always, for being around. Great show today, by the way. And see you guys tomorrow.
Later.